Should see you on the big boy. Girl, you bad. Nobody better than.
Hey guys, so what we're looking at right now is the 1998 Kawasaki GPX 250. This is very closely related to the Kawasaki Ninja bike, which a lot of people talk about. Plus, in your local ragga, genre of music, they always talk about Ninja bike. You want to ride my Ninja bike? So this is the one. GPX, on the other hand, is simply an international name for the same thing. So it's a 36 horsepower, and it hits easily, quite easily, 160 kilometers an hour. These models have been changed over the years. From 2002, on the other hand, they sort of made it like sleeker and bigger. But aside from that, they've generally maintained the shape. It's been a bestseller for a very long time. It rides two people, preferably smaller, considering the size. It's 248 exact engine cc with an aspirated induction system. So it's got an electric starter, and it's liquid cooled, as I said earlier. So the brake system, the single disc for the back and the front, with a 36mm telescopic hydraulic fork for front suspension. That's really good when you're braking hard. So you do the back first if you're a bike enthusiast. You do the bike obviously, then once you hit the front, it lowers the front and just lowers your speed as well. It handles very well around the city. Countryside roads, not too good for your gravel and your village trips unless you change the tires, of course, but you have to do a lot of maintaining. So what we're looking at now is the 2006 GT250 Hyosung. Hyosung is a Korean brand. Not too many people know about it, but it's been around for a very long time. Cheaper price point, yet very reliable bike. This one is the naked version, so you get to see a bit of parts of the frame and the engine and so on and so forth. That one comes in with a 5-speed manual 248cc engine. It's a 4-stroke engine. Comes in at 155 kilos. That's a lot heavier than the Kawasaki, with a top speed of 140 kilometers. That's safer, slower, with 28 horsepower on it. So it's induction aspired with an electric starter, 4-stroke 250 engine, like I said, which is liquid cooled. The brakes come in with single discs, both back and front, with a non-adjustable 51mm inverted fork suspension in the front. That makes it so much. You got so much space to do your front braking, and because of the weight of the bike as well. When you do a hard front brake, you don't expect to fall or really swerve. That's what makes it a lot safer. The tank capacity is 17 liters, 1 liter, surprisingly 1 liter smaller than the GPX, but it's still the better bike in my opinion, because I'm a larger guy. So the exhaust sound is just awesome. It just makes this grunt. It announces its presence. I am here, you cannot miss me, and I can bull you over if you're another bike. It's a really street pleasing bike. You can carry two heavier people, slightly slower, which makes it a lot more safer.
Baby,
chamado.
Iweche vyako, usapina manege weche vyako. Usa ushabagona, usapina manege weche vyako. Mulenge mama, mukansana tia. Baby Denya.
Okay, the Hyo is it's good. It's great. It carries my weight around as a heavier guy. It's a bigger bike. It really gives you that grunt. You can feel it. You can hear it in the exhaust. It's a custom exhaust, by the way. I changed that a little bit and did a bit of some work on it, obviously. But in general, it's a heavier bike. For heavier people, for heavier, larger people like me. And most Zambian people are pretty much like me. After a bit of that gasolite and stuff like that, you get a bit of a pot belly, and then you get a bit of a tishimbagambui, you know what I mean. So that's the bike that you want. That's definitely the bike that you want. The Hyosung. It's for an intermediate rider who's a bit heavier. It's slightly slower because of the weight plus your weight. So based on those things, it's pretty good for going to work, going to the market or anything like that, or just in general going out to have a ride. Excuse me, for a heavier guy. I would definitely take that on. I would love the Hyosung. So out of 10, I'd personally give it an 8 out of 10 for grunt. I'd give it that for the weight. The weight makes me feel safe because it's slightly slower, but it does give that speed. If you want to kill it for speed, it will give you that grunt and it will give you a ride for your money. Because it's a Korean bike, right? The Hyosung is slightly cheaper than most of the other generic bikes because of the brand recognition and so on. But it's by no means cheaper with regard to quality of bike and longevity of life. It will give you back your money's worth plus some more. So 8 out of 10 for the Hyo. Loved it. Hyo 250, really good stuff.
Girl, you bad, nobody better than you. I'm in love with the shape, I'm in love with the thing where you left behind. Press rewind, DJ press rewind. Baby come do the wine. The way you work in your waistline. There's so many girls up in here, but I got my eyes on you. Need a kawalala, I'm here to steer the stage. I'm in love with the thing where you live. Baby, Denya. Baby, Denya. Baby, Denya. Chico Samano. Chico Samano. I see ya and I can't just sweat to feel ya. Got a deal away yo, I'm a feeling yo. So what's wrong with it? Commission goody. Shana kalela badachino shikubalela. Mana boye, hitoncha ya boye. Koche wamba komisheso kwa lampa kafite komisheso. Mikandila nemo, pressure ya chilamo.
So what did we think about the Kawasaki? Kawasaki it's a great bike, guys. Honestly, it is. You could immediately tell the difference between the Kawasaki and the Hyo. Like right off the bat, just sit on the bike, start the bike, engage first gear, and then just start riding away. You would immediately tell the difference. It's a lot smaller. It's a lot smoother. The gear movements, the ratios are just. Loved it. It's just so smooth. I would almost say it's a lady's bike, but it wasn't made that way, so I can't make that claim. However, though, it's a slightly smaller bike. So for people like me, Dongabu International, that wouldn't work too well for me because I'm a bit large and I could feel it as I was riding it as well. That there's that size issue. I can only imagine what it looked like. I probably looked like a little camel. Your proverbial camel going through the needle hole sort of feeling. But with regard to the speed, the smoothness, the engineering in general, it's just a marvelous bike. Honestly, guys, I'd recommend it for a bit higher than intermediary people though, because that's a pretty heavy, that's a really fast bike.
it's a really, really fast bike for a 250. Yeah, so I wouldn't encourage you if you're like a beginner or something, or just below intermediate. You don't want to get that one, all right? It's a bit too fast. If you're good at what you do and you love your bikes and you know how to handle them, yeah, man, that's pretty slick. So we give it 8 out of 10 for the engineering, for the speed on it. It's just lovely. It lost a few marks, obviously. It's got an 8 on the size. But otherwise, in general, really beautiful bike. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The feel of it on the road, the way it handles, the way it turns, the way it just accelerates once you hit your green light. Yeah, man, honestly, if I was a smaller guy, I'd go for the Kawasaki without thinking twice. But I'm not a smaller guy. I'd go for the Hyosung without thinking twice. So between the two, who wins the battle? It's a draw. You guys can try it out yourselves. We're sending a couple to Zambia, so you guys can try them out and then chuck some comments in there and tell us what you think about it. But otherwise, we give them both an 8 out of 10.
Chipe Shamado